It's been 5 years since Halloween Resurrection, and Rob Zombie is the one to remake John Carpenter's Halloween with a follow-up sequel, Halloween 2, released in 2009. But why are these films so divisive, and do they hold up today? With the release of Halloween Ends being just right around the corner, it is time to finish off the reviews for every film in the Halloween franchise. Today we have our first and only double feature review covering both of Rob Zombie's entries into the Halloween franchise. The synopsis for these films reads as, after being committed for 15 years, Michael Myers, now a grown man and still very dangerous, escapes from the mental institution and immediately returns to Haddonfield to find his baby sister Laurie. And Halloween 2's synopsis reads, Laurie Strode struggles to come to terms with her brother Michael's deadly return to Haddonfield, Illinois. Meanwhile, Michael prepares for another reunion with his sister. And of course, starting with the directing, Rob Zombie's version of John Carpenter's Halloween is, at the least, a tried and true remake. It does 95% of what that original film does, but without the same effect or impact on the audience. This version of Halloween explores Michael's early life, which obviously lends audiences to feel sympathy for the character of Michael Myers, which is a very odd take in the Halloween franchise. I think that most fans could agree that this was an ambitious attempt in a world that we love already that just didn't quite execute. And as for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, this film is once again directed very, very well, but the story direction is bonkers. It is absolutely nuts and doesn't fit within the franchise. Again, I think the biggest takeaway from both of these films and Rob Zombie's directing style is that he did try something different. He does have his own visual style, but at the end of the day, certain things like the white horse and the angel and Michael speaking, things like that all end up feeling like they came out of nowhere, just like Season of the Witch, Halloween 3, kind of came out of nowhere not having Michael involved. And everybody's just kind of like, what? Whoa, where did this come from? And that's how I felt about Halloween and Halloween 2. As for the cast, I feel like every cast member plays their character to perfection. And by perfection, I mean they feel like they are in a cohesive film. They all feel like characters that would belong in the same film. There's not a single character that sticks out as a sore thumb. The dialogue definitely isn't fantastic. It's over the top at times and really gross and grotesque. But everybody, like I said, plays their parts the way they're supposed to. And Scout Taylor Compton, who attempts at rebranding Laurie Strode, does do a good job as a final girl, but the only reason why I don't fully invest myself into this character is because I'm already invested in Jamie Lee Curtis portraying the role of Laurie Strode. And moving along to the story, for Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2, he tried. That's what I can say when it comes to the story. He tried. Again, I can appreciate that he did something different and something new, but ultimately it doesn't feel like it belongs in the Halloween franchise and doesn't feel like it belongs within the world of Michael Myers. The overall story going from Halloween to Halloween 2 feels very messy, and the fact that you're trying to sympathize with this kid, you're sympathizing with Michael Myers at a young age because you show his early life, and I personally just don't feel like I should be sympathizing with a serial killer. But there's so many moments within these films, specifically in Halloween 2, that feel like they're just there to up the body count or to move characters from one place to another in a very lackluster, weak manner. Halloween, at the least, manages to be an entertaining ride, due to the fact that it rides off of the success of the beats used in the original film. Now, Halloween doesn't live up to the original film, but it definitely does a better job than Halloween 2, where we get a Michael Myers that absolutely nobody wanted. The visuals for these films both look fantastic, and honestly, I gotta say, you definitely can tell when you're watching Rob Zombie's visual style. You can tell when it is a Rob Zombie picture, and that's something very significant. Most directors don't have that attention to detail or consistency, and so it is cool to see that, although it may not work for me. If I had any complaint about the visuals in either of these films, it has to be the use of the shaky cam footage, which ultimately isn't terrible, it's just a little bit overused. And sticking with the visuals, you have to talk about the kills with Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2 because of the fact that it delivers some of the most brutal kills in the entire franchise. Also, speaking back to some of these story elements, I do feel like some of the more innocent characters in the film got some of the more brutal deaths in the film, and unrightfully so. I feel like a lot of the douchey characters, like Michael's stepdad, he was really deserving of a brutal death, and he was killed off fairly quick and easy. And moving along to the score, surprisingly, the score for both of these films ends up being more memorable for the franchise, but that's just due to the use of the 70s and 80s rock songs. The scores are well put together, but again, when I'm watching a Halloween film, I want to listen to a score composed by John Carpenter. Moving along to the final thoughts for Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2, after hearing all of the hate for these films growing up, I truly expected to despise both of these films. I don't need to see these films again, but I definitely don't hate them. I do very much so enjoy some of the technical aspects in both of these films, but they're just Halloween stories that don't connect with me. I do have to admit that Michael Speaking is one of the biggest disappointments in the franchise, but that being said, I also don't think it deserves as much hate as it has received. But that's all for this double feature review of Rob Zombie's Halloween, released in 2007, and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, released in 2009. But let me know what you guys thought of Halloween and Halloween 2 down in the comments below, as well as your expectations for Halloween Ends. And next up, I will be reviewing the first entry into the David Gordon Green trilogy of the Halloween franchise with Halloween 2018. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.